sort of action that we're looking for has to come through politicians. It has to come through governments. I think the best way to get politicians to do anything is to make it a point that the public care about. And what I've noticed is that a lot of the public haven't quite come to it hasn't clicked with China yet that this is a threat. This is that they are killing people. The people haven't realized that the threat they pose to their everyday lives, and it is and I feel like we have to put a lot of effort into helping people understand, and I feel like it's also a bit of a PR aspect to this. So, and sort of I don't want to say educating, but just sharing this information, making it more available, because it seems to not really ever get legs. Like the only time that it was really big was when we had the fiasco of Huawei.
Do you think the media have got a bigger part to play in this? I think.
I wish they'd step up their game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think any newspaper has run this issue as one any of the top story. Sorry, any of the mainstream newspapers. And it's only the Jewish Chronicle, I think, that has run it as their front page story twice.
Yeah, I think that the media have a really important part to play because, like George said, it's about presenting people with the facts, with the evidence, so that our person who doesn't always have the time to sit there, researching this stuff, will be really interested in it, know what's going on still, and that's going to come through our media. And we have had some exceptional journalists do exceptional work, but we need more of our media outlets to take on that responsibility, get that information out to people, communicate that information. The facts are there, the evidence is there. Now all we need is for people to receive that, and we have to be able to do that for people who also, might not even care so much about international affairs, but they still need to know what's going on. That's where our media outlets have really important work to do. And yeah, Jewish Chronicle, Jewish News, obviously the Jewish community have responded incredibly passionately with what's going on, because there are echoes of the past in what's happening, and I think that's really harrowing. Now we have to take it much further than that. And as you said, George, it is about policymakers. Our policymakers need to have also the knowledge to make these decisions. A lot of them still don't, and they still don't understand the extent to what's going on. That's also what we need to work on, educating our policymakers.
Yeah, for sure. George, thanks for joining, mate. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate your time. I know you've got to get going.
No worries. See you later.
It's always great to speak to you. Okay, we've got time for one more guest. I know Ryan's been waiting for essentially the whole show, so we'll bring Ryan in now. Ryan, are you there? Ryan, can you hear me? George, thanks for joining, mate. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate your time. I know you've got to get going. Ryan, can you hear me? I can hear myself in the background, which means I think you've got us on. There's a slight delay. Essentially the whole show. So we'll bring Ryan in now. Ryan, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Hello, yes. Yeah, if you could just mute your video in the background, mate.
I've got nothing.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Got nothing, I'm afraid.
Oh no, technical difficulties in the last call. There's a slight delay.
Well,
it might be.
I can't hear you, but can you hear me?
Yeah. What did you have to say? If you can hear us, what did you have to say?
Sod this. Let's turn these off.
Hello, Ryan. Can you hear me? Hello.
You hear me now?
Yeah, perfect. How you doing?
Sheer bloody irony. This is a technology question, and I can't even get this to work. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I've been going down the Bitcoin rabbit hole to try and understand what money is and all that stuff the last 2 weeks. That's a conversation another time. But it's basically a really revolutionary technology, and I wanted to see what your guys' thoughts are on how prepared governments are for the developing technological revolution. Are they learning, embracing, and scrutinizing technologies or corporations properly?
Do you want to tackle this one? I mean, this is not something that I have any kind of expertise in. What I will say is that I think something that governments have failed to do for a long time is keep up with advances in technology and specifically large technology corporations. I think we've seen it with the social media companies, things like Cambridge Analytica, that really hasn't been tackled. And these groups, these organizations are these, sort of conglomerates are so large and so influential now that they need to be regulated in some way. And they're not being, and it doesn't even seem like we're really having the conversations as to how to do that. There's some fantastic documentaries that have been released recently. There were some great ones surrounding the Cambridge Analytica scandal. The best sort of documentary based on social media companies that I've seen recently is The Social Dilemma, really talking about how much of an impact these companies have on our lives. So to really sort of answer your question, probably not in the way that you wanted, is no, they aren't doing enough. They need to do more. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think that in terms of whether the governments are prepared, I agree with Jack. I don't think they are prepared just based on how they've responded in the past to these tech companies and social media firms and all of this stuff. I think that they will inevitably find that they have to regulate what's going on a lot better. They have to understand the impact that these companies are having on our communities a lot better, and that's a responsibility that they're going to have to take on, and they can't underestimate it. I think that there is often this feeling, it is technology, it's almost not tangible enough for us to feel like we have to deal with straight away, but the impacts are like a snowball effect, and it often starts off when you can't really see what's happening. And I think that that's the difficulty of it. But if the government get on top of it and they're aware that this is happening and they listen to experts, they listen to people who know what they're talking about, then we can hopefully see them a lot more prepared to deal with the outcomes of like you said, a technological revolution, which will shape will completely change the course of society in the next 10 to 20 years. I feel like we'll be in a completely different position, so it's really important they get to handle on it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, what do you think, Ryan, especially in so far as sort of the cryptocurrency angle? What are your thoughts on sort of where that's moving and what governments need to do?
Well, I think the whole industry of cryptocurrency is presented as it's sort of a strange trading arena, but to me it's a philosophical, ideological position, and I've come to understand this. It's not a scam, it's not a Ponzi scheme. It's essentially moving away from a fiat system to a whole new monetary system that allows for deflation, which we've never had before, and that would transform the world. And so when you've got a cabinet Zoom meeting being shared on Twitter with the ID public for everyone to log in if they want, it doesn't give me huge faith that they're prepared for what's coming, especially with the amount of money they're printing at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this is going to become more and more relevant as we move more into this recession that we're currently in / facing. New and creative ways to sort of restrict this kind of thing from occurring again. We have, in my opinion, a very out of control corporatist system at the moment that doesn't work for ordinary people, and any ways in which we can make that better is a good thing. I think and I don't know anywhere near as much about this as presumably you do, Ryan, but I would say that I think it's important to approach all of these things with caution, and to look at what are the best ways to properly integrate them. And that's not seemingly something that's been done, especially with cryptocurrencies. It was laughed at, it has been called a scam, what have you. It's not something that's necessarily been taken too seriously. And maybe we do need to do that more.
I think that's what's coming, and I just hope that that enough people start to understand what it really is about, and not see it as what the media presents it as, because they don't want us to jump on something and take back power.
Is there anything you'd recommend for people to learn more about this stuff? Any books or sort of documentaries, videos to watch, articles to read, that kind of thing?
There's loads out there now, but I'd recommend some podcasts. One called Once Bitten, capital Bit, and that's a guy who interviews loads of people in the sector to try and educate people. The whole purpose of it is to teach people what it's about. And then there's another podcast that sort of goes hand in hand with it called Bitcoin Audible. And it's a guy who reads through lots of articles and then dissects them and tries to sort of put it into layman's terms. And it's really refreshing. It's given me a sense of optimism for the future.
Interesting. Thanks so much, mate. I really appreciate that. Was there anything else on your mind that you wanted to talk about?
I'm sure there's plenty more, but we'll do that next time. I'll try.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Ryan. Cheers.
Take care.
Okay, so I mean that's all we've got time for today. I really appreciate everybody watching, and Jer, to you for co-hosting with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
you know, if it's something that you want to do more in the future, I'm sure Brett won't mind taking the odd week off.
Brett's gonna come back. I'm just gonna be like, "Hi, Brett." No. No, that was so much fun. I think it's really important. It's great to hear so many people's perspectives on things. Like we all have so many different ideas, and I think that's what makes it so great. It's dialogue, which is so key.
Yeah, I mean, lastly, was there anything else that you wanted to plug? Anything you wanted to tell people about?
If you are interested in genocide, which sounds odd, but in understanding genocide and how we can prevent genocide, my organization yet again are hosting a panel event this Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. You can find out details on any of our social media handles, which are at Yet Again UK. And essentially, we have 4 panelists who are incredible, who are basically going to be discussing the concept of genocide, how we can prevent it. We have a human rights barrister. We have a chief exec of the Holocaust Memorial Day Trust. We have a head of policy and research from Protection Approaches, and we have a Holocaust survivor who came here on a kinder transport. So it's going to be an incredible insight, and I almost can't believe that we have so many awesome people on one panel, but we do. And if you're interested, you can book a free ticket online.
I would encourage everybody to check it out, because it does look like it's going to be such a fantastic event. And just to say, you know, the work that you and the rest of the people involved in Yet Again continue to do is amazing, and it fills me with hope. All these youth-led organisations that are doing, you know, the work that so many people have ignored over the years. It's so fantastic.
No, it's true. We are doing good work, I think, for our generation, which is good.
Absolutely.
Where hopefully, you know, people can get involved with it.
Yeah, so thank you to everybody that contributed. Thank you to everybody for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Be sure to visit our website, follow us on social media, and check out all of the other fantastic content that we are releasing later this week and we did last week. It's goodbye from me. I'll see you next week, Monday, 5 p.m. And who knows who I'll have co-hosting with me next week. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody.